Hi everyone, this is Vegas, and today I'm excited to share with you a great update on Cheddar Flow version 2. As you know, I did a video recently on Cheddar Flow, and today I'm going to show you the amazing upgrades that Cheddar Flow has added to their platform that you are going to love. So let's get started. Okay, so just before we get right into the amazing upgrades that Cheddar Flow has added to the platform, just want to remind you that you can have a free trial. All you need to do is go to the website, cheddarflow.com, then just click right here at Start 7-Day Free Trial. You try it for free for 7 days, and then obviously if you like it, you will then be paying $85 a month. If you actually use the link that I'm going to attach in the video, you're welcome to get an actual discount. So if you want, you can definitely check them out. I think definitely on one trade alone, it just pays for itself, especially if you trade options the way that I do. So what I'm going to do now is just log in and we'll get started. And I want to show you the great new features. And I'm also going to give you guys a little bit of a refresher of what the platform actually has in store for you. So let's just log in and we will get going here. So I'm going to log in right away. And here we are. So just as a reminder, whenever you log into the Cheddar Flow dashboard, this is what I call the dashboard, you have an overview right away of everything that's been going on and everything that's given to you here in these filters. It is really by time of day. As you can see here today, we had SPY calls, QQQ, IWM, and these are actual tickers that you can actually trade up until 4:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A lot of traders don't really know that, and I actually didn't even know that myself till months and months ago. And then I found out that you can trade these tickers up until 4:15 Eastern Standard Time. So good to know. We actually also have here historical flow, and then we have unusual volumes here, and then of course we have our amazing feature here with built-in chart analysis, where you can actually just click on it, pull up a chart, which I'll show you momentarily, and it's connected with TradingView. So right away, I want to really focus today on the filters. If you would love to know more about these features here on your left, you can simply review the video number 1, which we'll include in this in the comments below. So let's click here right onto the filters, and I will also go through all those new filters, and also I'm going to go through the different colors, because the colors is so important with Cheddar Flow. So as you can see here, we have now this option feature called filters, and you can see that we have 20 different filtering options that you can actually choose from. The really nice thing about this is that you can actually combine multiple filters to actually create the granularity that you want to have. So as an options trader, or even a trader that's looking for money flow, maybe all you care about are, trades that are above the ask, maybe stocks only, maybe anything that's $1 million and above. So I want to show you how this all works. So for example, you can actually click on opening orders. Let me just click it here. And you can also click on 1 million and above. And when it highlights in orange, the filter has been activated. So I'm going to click, and then I want to click unusual orders as well. So I can click on all these, the first 3, for example, and then I can click done. Okay, so I've actually clicked the 3 filters I want. I wanted to show you opening orders, 1 million and above, and unusual orders. And as soon as you click the filters you want, it obviously highlights in orange, and then I click done, and then it brings me here to obviously the screen that's going to show me all the tickers. Now, are you seriously surprised to see Tesla here? I mean, what a day Tesla had today in particular. I mean, look at this money flow and look at the option flow. I mean, this is just absolutely incredible. And we all know that Tesla had a move today of over $100 a share. I mean, absolutely insanity. So you can see here that with Tesla, we saw today in the morning a bearish order come through, but remember, this here was a split order. And then we had after that some strikes here for 760, very common number. And then we had, look at the size. I mean, the premiums were just absolutely incredible. And we had some sweepers, we had a block trade, and then we had a split. So this right away can show you where are these fat cats going today. And you could see, and this is all from today, you could all see that obviously they were focused on Tesla. Now, I clicked on my filters here. You see here I have a total of 3. So if I click on the filters, I was specifically focused on, to show you for tonight, opening orders 1 million and above and the unusual orders. So opening is really going to show you the size of the contracts, and which is greater than the open interest. And that's a really great feature. Let me just click done so I can clear the screen here. And then we have the 1 million plus, which is obviously orders that are over $1 million in premium, which you can see right here. They're all over $1 million of premium. And then we have the unusual orders. And this is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see that orders with volume, or also the trade size, being greater than the open interest. And these types of orders also show you the implied volatility is increasing. And I can show you guys too, which I want to show you. Let me clear this filters, and then we'll go back since we're talking about Tesla. But I do want to show you the craziness that was going on. And I mean, Cheddar Flow was just picking up everything. And this was just an amazing day. So you can see here with Tesla in particular, again, it's sorted by the time. So it's going from the latest time of day to the earliest, and I can keep scrolling and get you to see a lot more. But if we go back to as early as the morning, let me see if I can go really, really granular here. This is basically from the morning today. I mean, look at this. I mean, look at this person here, 10:09 a.m. They were buying $1,000 contracts, by the way, for Feb 21. And, you know, not a huge order, $45,000. And they paid $1.50. Well, let me tell you, those contracts did really well today. So, you know, if you recall in the video number 1, since we are talking about Tesla and I'm showcasing this to you, we did talk about the different colors here on these filters. And I want to just reiterate briefly. So anything that's in orange, okay, that you see right here, these are orders that are $1 million. It doesn't, or more. It doesn't matter if it's a call or a put. The fact is that if it's orange, you're basically looking at $1 million or more order. If it is in purple, like what you're seeing right here, these are orders that are unusual, also defined by the volume and also the trade size. So if you look at this, for example, these ones here, 800, 800, 800, they're buying the $800 strike. And look at the size, look at the premium. Premium is very important. And then obviously look at the open interest, and you check all this out and look at that volume, super juicy. So you could see here that not only does this show extreme urgency on the trader's side, but it's also a very good indicator, as we've mentioned, for you to understand, is this trader bullish or bearish on the stock? And you could see that from these trades and the money flow coming in, these traders were bullish today. So let's continue along and go out of these colors and go out of Tesla. So let me just clear that up. And we're going to go back to the filters. Okay, so we're back to the filters here, and you can see here the next item here is called the highly unusual filter. And obviously, again, this is a little bit different than the unusual one, which is the one above here. This one's highly unusual because this one here is extremely aggressive. Also, very large contracts, very large sizes. And what I really like sometimes is that it does definitely show you these are weekly expiries and these are far out of the money. So the nice thing with the filter is if you wanted to see highly unusual orders, okay, you don't want to have to watch and stare at your screen all day. This is why you can use the filter. Or maybe you don't want to see so many different kind of options coming through the platform. You only want to focus on highly unusual. You can obviously select it from the filter, click done, and then here you are. You have a huge list of all the ones that came through today. So as you can see, when we talk about the highly unusual, these are very aggressive. I mean, look here at the SPY. We have SPY contracts for the week. As you can see, we did mention that highly unusual are weekly contracts. We have SPY contracts for the week. These are already, obviously, the strikes are already in the money, but these ones are they're buying puts, and look at the price, 2 cents. I mean, they're really buying these sweepers here. But look at the size, 20,000 for 2 cents. Because this could be potentially the same trader. Another 10,000 here, another 20,000 here. So again, why are they doing this in small sizes? Sometimes they're trying to go under the radar. They don't want you to notice. And again, these are so cheap, like 2 cents. And look at the size. Then we have HYG. We have 15,000 contracts. And here's the premium that was paid, 45,000 total. But look how cheap that was. 3 cents, which is obviously $3 a contract. And this was a beautiful block trade. Then we have, again, another SPY further down. We have the VIX. And then we have more SPY and more SPY and more SPY. So again, this is a really amazing feature. And I have to tell you, it is the only options platform that I can tell you from the ones I've used in the past that has these filters. So the fact that Cheddar has them, they're way ahead of the crowd, and this makes your job as a trader so much more easier, and obviously, keeps you focused so you can really see what's going on. So let's clear this filter, because you could see that all that was showing here was the SPY, the IWM, and the VIX. So now we're going to go to another filter here, and we're going to go to the ones above the ask. Now, these ones here above the ask are, again, trades that orders are coming in above the offer price. Again, signaling urgency. And look at this. Remember we talked about the colors? This one here is in purple. Why is it purple? Because not only is this one above the ask, but this is showing urgency. They really want to buy this contract. And obviously the trader, we can see the volume. I mean, it's, you could see the volume's not massive, but this is for the XLV. And then we have here DIA, the SPY, the IWM. So you could see that in this case, with it being purple here on this one here, for a premium of 58,000, this is a put and a sweeper. I mean, the intent is obviously that it shows urgency. They want to get on this side of the trade. So you can scroll down and you can see other ones here. Now look at these other ones here. Well, I saw a couple purple ones come up. So we have here some more ASHR, and look at this, more Tesla, more sweepers coming through. Again, look at this one for the strike of 850 for this week. I mean, that's not a small premium, 178,000. Then we have, look at this, AMD, a beautiful sweeper in there, and this is for next year. Okay, $50 strike. So again, these are things that you can pick with your filters. And I just love how they just color code everything. It just makes it so much easier on my eyes and can catch my attention. And that's really the goal. I mean, if you just had to look at this all day black and gray, I mean, you wouldn't, it's all about pattern recognition. And I love how Cheddar Flow's really done a fantastic job with this. So let's clear this filter and let's go back and let's look at another one. Okay, so the filter we're looking at right now, I went and selected here the ones for pre-earnings. And as you all know, it's still a very busy earnings season right now. And I will say that a lot of option traders refuse to trade earning calls, but then there's a lot of traders that will actually trade into earnings, and they will actually buy the puts, they'll buy the calls, they might do a straddle. There's so many different trading styles. It really just depends what your risk management is and what you're willing to do, knowing that the options are risky with earnings because the earnings could be really good, but the guidance could be really bad. So as you can see here, if I wanted to specifically look at, okay, there's a lot of earnings coming up right now. What's happening out here with earnings land with options? And as you can see, we have BP, which is obviously the oil and gas company in London, England. And they had the earnings coming up. And you could see that they have ones that expire on Feb 21st. We also have NXPI. And we have here on NXPI, which is the semiconductors, that one there is on the move. And we could see that this company was definitely having earnings for. And, you know, there's a lot of actual money flow going into the actual options. So you could see here that they're picking weeklies, okay? And they were picking the strike of 125 and 135. So that was really interesting because you might want to actually look at those a little closer if you're looking to trade options and seeing what is the market sentiment there. Very important to think about sentiment as well if you're considering an options trade. Okay, so now we're going to move on to seeing stocks only. And it does exactly what it says, stocks only. This is going to show you stock order flow only. And you can actually see what the stocks are doing and what's happening in the market. And this can give you a list right at your fingertips. So just click on it, on stocks only. And it should bring it all up for me right here. As soon as it highlights in orange, like I said, it actually is ready for you to look at. Then I can click done. So again, this is in no particular, obviously the order that you're seeing here is obviously the time of day. But in terms of actual stocks, I just want to see what's happening with the stocks. So I could see that, you know, there were orders coming through for JPM towards the end of the day. We could see some puts coming in on Tesla. You know, is this someone, you know, thinking that it's going to go down in the next couple of weeks? Maybe someone's hedging. We don't know. We see here some order flow on Facebook. I mean, look at this beautiful one here on Tesla. Another one. I think I showed you guys this one earlier for 800 strike. So this will be an interesting one to see throughout the week. We have also Microsoft. We have CVS. Space has been one that I've been noticing a lot. And we see obviously Apple. Now we know that right now Apple, you know, they obviously had their earnings already, but they also have some closure happening right now because of the coronavirus. So for now, we might see some Apple puts because the assumption is that, you know, Apple might have a bit of a pullback right now. And that's why you're seeing a lot of actual puts happening. IBM, you know, we're seeing some nice money flow here on IBM. And as we know, with IBM, as you guys know, and maybe you don't know, but, you know, we recently, the board of directors did elect the IBM senior vice president, that's for cloud, Arvind Krishna, to be their next CEO. And the current CEO, Virginia Rometty, who's currently the executive chairman, she'll be serving as the executive chairman until the end of the year, and then at which point she's going to retire, which I think is a really good thing. I think the market really liked that she was going to be retiring, and the market is so excited, I think, to have Arvind Krishna come to become the new CEO. He is a brilliant technologist. He's had a significant role in developing key technologies such as artificial intelligence, cloud, quantum computing, and blockchain. He's a superb operational leader. He's able to win business, and he is just so excited. He's very humble to be selected to be the CEO. And for those of you that know a little bit about his background, I mean, you know, he's been at IBM for 27 years, okay? He started there at the company when he came to the U.S. from India, and he's worked his way there, and he's put in his time. So I really love the fact that they've hired someone internally and that deserves this promotion. And I think that he's going to do so many phenomenal things for IBM. And I think IBM, what we're going to start to see with this option flows is that we're going to start seeing, I think, more call flows coming in, because IBM, to me, is going to be one of those companies that does a big turnaround, especially now with Arvind Krishna coming up to the CEO job. So I'm really excited to see what he's going to be doing. So I'm really loving to see these IBM calls. And let's see here. We see some L brands coming through as well. So again, just gives you a snapshot of what is happening with the stocks in general. So we can see Comcast. We see a lot of, you see AMD, what's happening with the AMD stock. You can see here all the different contracts coming in. Now, for those of you that have not seen the first video, if you ever wanted to see, you know, you don't have to go through the order here based on the time that it came in. But let's say you want to see just stocks only, but you are interested to know if there's anything with IBM that happens to have popped up today. You could do a search just by the ticker and it's actually going to show you just the IBM contracts. So again, you can have it in the order that it came through, obviously, and it has a mix of all the tickers, or if you want to customize it, you can very easily have this filter selected, and I only want to see IBM. So again, another amazing feature that Cheddar Flow has definitely designed for us. So let's clear this up. I want to clear up IBM, because then if I don't do that, it's going to give me more information on IBM, and I really don't want to look at IBM the whole night. We also want to look at ETFs only, for example. Now, the ETFs only are only going to show you ETF order flow. So I can just select it, click done. Now you see here in this case, it didn't show me the filter, so it didn't save it. So you have to make sure it's highlighted in orange, and then you can click done. And you'll know that your filter was successful because you'll have the number listed here. If I actually picked 3 or 4, this box would show me the number 3 or 4. But in this case, for educational purposes of how this Cheddar Flow does operate, I'm going through each filter one by one because they're so incredible and I want to explain them to you. So with regards to this particular filter, this is just the ETFs. And you're going to see here IWM, QQQ, and that's all you're really going to see. You're going to see TLT, SPY, the VIX, Gold, GLD. So again, the more common ones that you're going to see. So you can actually sort them out too. This is what I love about this. You can sort them by ticker, and it'll do them for me. You could sort them, let's say, by strike. Well, maybe I don't want that. Maybe I'm interested in only by price. So why don't we sort them by price? And it's probably going to give me the cheapest contract all the way down to the most expensive. So if I wanted to sort them by price, it's going to do that for me. And remember, I showed you these ones in blue. Blue, again, as a reminder, is highly unusual, very aggressive. They have a very large size. They expire very soon, and a lot of times far from the money. So let's go now to clear all, and let's go to the next filter, and we're going to talk about calls only. Now, let's say you don't like to trade puts. You just like trading calls. Well, that's not a problem. Cheddar has this filter for you. So you can actually click calls only, and I only want to see all the calls that have come through for the day. And it's also sorted. So we're going to have here the filter. You can go through here. You're going to see all kinds of calls, calls only. Now in this case, I guess because it still has me sorted by price. So let's just go by time. Let me click the time. So it's going to show me all the ones that came through the whole day from the latest, from basically towards close. And if I want to see like what actually happened in the morning, just when the market opens, I can sort it that way as well. And you could see what came up at the start of the day in case you missed anything. It's just amazing that it does this sorting for me. So we don't actually have to scroll down and waste our time. You can just go to here and then it just comes through for you. So this is a great, great feature. So now let's move on to another filter. We're now going to go on to biotech and healthcare. So again, what Cheddar Flow has done here is they've actually sectioned it off that you can actually go into the biotech and healthcare, and you can see all the stocks that are coming through into this actual sector. So let me just take off calls only, and I want to see biotech, technology, financials, and industrials, because I want to get them all together. And that's it. So we're just going to section these off. So we have biotech, technology, financials, industrials all together, and I'll click done. And let's see what it's going to pop up for us. Oh, I got 4 filters, but no data. That's interesting. We should have some data. So sorry about that. I was going to try to show you all the different sectors here together because I wanted to show you all the orders for technology, the financials, and the industrials, but it seems that if I click on them together as a group, it doesn't really pull them all. So if you actually wanted to see them, you have to actually go on them individually. And I'll just confirm that with the founders of Cheddar Flow just to make sure. But for today's purpose, if I wanted to go to biotech and healthcare, right away I'm going to see Gilead and AMRN. And you know what? Gilead had great news today as well. They were working on a coronavirus and actually did administer a non-FDA drug, and that was in conjunction with the Chinese government. So we can see that there was a lot of good money flow coming today on this actual stock. And by the way, the stock has earnings as well on February 4th. So we might see also, this is why we're seeing some large premiums here in anticipation of maybe good earnings. Again, that's only if you play earnings. Now we're going to go into the technology. So let me just get rid of the biotech and focus strictly on technology. And you can see here that we have all the tech stocks. So you're going to see your Facebooks, your Amazon, your Apple, your Microsoft. Microsoft's just been so incredible. And you know what? Today in particular, I traded Zoom. And I did see that there was good flow on Zoom, and it's had a beautiful move. And I think Zoom has room for a lot more here. We are seeing Zoom strike of $82 being selected. Small size, 200 contracts, about $1.10 each. And we see here a spot, and we're looking for the spot that if it's going to be bullish, that we print on the level 2 tape over $78.30. So we can see here that the open interest, isn't this interesting? 0. So this guy here is the first guy in line that actually has purchased an $82 strike for next week. So keep an eye on Zoom. And in my opinion, Zoom is ready for another move. So you may want to look at those contracts. Next one we're going to look at are financials. So financials are obviously orders that are coming through the financial sector. And what do we have there? We have obviously Wells Fargo. We have Bank of America. We have JPM. And there is a whole mix of financial stocks. So if you like banking stocks, definitely come here. Goldman Sachs. You know what? Goldman Sachs has to be one of my favorites that I love trading because I just love the volatility on that one. I'm not a really big fan of the other ones, but JP Morgan's been nice to me. Okay, now we're going to go over to the industrials. And here in the industrials, obviously you're going to see, whoops, let's see what's happened here. Okay, so now we're looking at the industrial sector, and you can see here we have GE, and we have also Boeing, we have Caterpillar. So you can look at you have UPS, you have Stamp. So you can look at here if you're interested to see what's happening in that sector. So I really like how it has these customized sections. Good job, Cheddar Flow. I love it. And I'm starting to use these filters a lot more during the week. And I'm finding that I'm starting to get a little more comfortable with what's working for me. So another thing that I really like here is we have the weeklies. And if you like to trade weeklies, and a lot of traders do, a lot of traders don't, because they find that you can DK your contracts really fast. But again, you could have a really good runner and a breakout and a stock with good news or phenomenal guidance, and a weekly contract works just fine. It just, again, depends on your trading style. But again, if you like a weekly contracts, which by the way, I like weekly contracts, for me, it's not for everyone. You can pick weeklies and you can see what's out there. So that doesn't mean they expire this week. You could have a contract that's going to expire next week, but it is classified as a weekly. And these are contracts with a very short expiry date. So this is why you're going to see ones for this week, February 7th. You're going to see ones for the week after, February 14th. So again, very short-term holds. You're going to see another one here. This is here for March the 6th. So you may think that's not really a weekly. Well, it is because it's for a few weeks from now. So it's not, you're not holding for months and months and months. And that's why they're called weeklies, because it's for a short-term hold. And the majority you're going to see here don't really have a lot of time, right? We have ones basically towards Feb 28. I think the one there that I saw for March was probably one of the older ones. I mean, look at up to March 2nd. So again, a great, great filter. And if you don't like anything that's for this week, because you may not like that kind of a risk, or maybe the timeline's too short for what you're looking for, you'd like to have a swing trade on something longer, but maybe you don't want to pick something so far out, you're going to want to come and use this feature, because you're going to want to say, you know what, I really like, let me just find one here. Let's go by the expiry date, sort this out. Okay, so we have all the ones for, we've got a lot of ones for this week. Some of them are just a couple days. And, you know, if you don't want anything, let's say for this Friday, you might want to have something for next week, or maybe even the week after. You can just scroll right down and pick your expiry date, and then take a, you know, do your own due diligence on that actual stock, and then see if it's something that is going to be of interest to you. So let's find one here. Okay, so we have a couple good ones here that have come up. I'm really liking BABA right now. And you know what? In terms of the China stocks, BABA to me is probably just one of the strongest China stocks out there. So I just love BABA. I know it pulls back and it has its moments. But BABA is a great stock in my personal opinion. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just giving you my own personal opinions. So by all means, you know, check with your financial advisor, do your own due diligence. But let's talk about BABA here. We have BABA here with the February 14th expiry date, strike of 230. You can see, look at this amazing premium. I love things. Oh my God, I cannot wait to show you guys the premium with over $200,000 and $100,000, which is coming up next. I'm so excited to show you. So these ones here for February 14, again, if you actually want to have a contract, but not for this week, but you'd rather have something for next week, you're going to want to use this filter. I am telling you, Cheddar Flows just has thought. What I love about them is they've thought about us as traders and what we want, what makes our jobs easier, you know, when we're trying to look at things that make it easier to look for things that appeal to us. And here we are. Now we're going to talk about 200,000 and 100,000. So these are contracts that have a premium of either 200,000 and 100,000. So I'm going to basically put them together so that I could show these two to you. And I'll click done. And you'll see now it shows me I have two filters combined. So you can see here that I'm only going to be shown with Cheddar's platform everything that is $200,000 of premium or $100,000 and above. And a lot of traders, I know some that in particular, that only trade options that show that kind of money flow going in, because, you know, it's just not the average trader buying those actual contracts. I mean, look at Tesla again. This is a 616,000 premium. Here's another one, 580,000 premium. Here's a SPY trader with 131,000, an Apple trader 180,000. So again, you want to pay attention to that money flow. And we have some more. We have some more Tesla. We have the EEM, emerging markets. We have QCOM. Okay. And I'm liking QCOM's looking good lately. So definitely keep an eye on those. We have United Health. You know, United Health's had a really brutal pullback lately. And you know what? Fair enough to see these puts here. So that makes a lot of sense. And heavy betting. So definitely this is a great filter. I really love it. Again, with the blues and the purples, remember the blue is highly unusual. The purples are unusual. So there is a bit of a difference with these, and the ones in blue also pay attention to the position size, not just the premium, but pay attention to this, in this case, 11,000. So again, a great feature. And by the way, we did give some feedback to Cheddar Flow and asked if they could have a filter here for $200,000 of premium and above. And this team is super receptive that if you give suggestions, They're very open to listening to feedbacks from clients. And I really love that about them because it's so nice to work with a company that listens to the end user. And that's what makes them very unique. Next one I want to show you guys is the one for 50 cents and less. And these are actual contracts that the price of the contract is 50 cents and less. Now, this is actually really good for all types of accounts. And also, I suggest something like this for people with a small account. If you have a small trading account, it's really hard to stare at the dashboard all day and, wait around for, an option flow that comes through that is, let's say, 50 cents or less, which is obviously $50 or less. And I love this filter because if you're busy or you don't trade full time, you can very easily come to the filters and pick this one that we're talking about right now, which is 50 cents and below. And these are prices of orders that are $50 or less. And believe it or not, don't get, assumed, don't get sidetracked with the fact that, oh, because it's such a cheap contract, it's probably not a really good setup. I mean, today was a really great example with Tesla. There were contracts that people had purchased for 4 cents, which is $4, and those contracts went to $3 each, 300 each from $4 investment. And that was for the $1,000 contracts. So don't be misled by the premium price here. Sometimes there's some really hidden gems in here. And so definitely look at these. So we have obviously again SPY, emerging markets, IWM. So you can scroll through these and, Peloton, very interesting one here on Peloton. Look at Match. You have a put here on Match. We have the CEO just recently resigned. So we see some put flow coming through. So take a look and, this might interest you as well on this filter. So let's go now to the next filter. So the next filter we're going to review right now is sweeps, and these orders signal momentum and urgency. So let's see what's showing up here on the sweepers. So I have them all here, and it doesn't matter if it's a call or a put, irrelevant. The point is that it's a sweeper and there is momentum and urgency in this trade. So we could see here that we have QCOM, a sweeper. We have another one with EXPE. We have another one here with the SPY. So there's quite the variety here. So just to reiterate, sweep orders, these ones here we told you signal momentum, urgency. This goes through the intelligent market routing systems. And typically these are broken down. If you notice these orders here, look at the order size. These are typically broken down into small orders and they hit multiple exchanges because this is being used by the smart money to become irrelevant, what you want to call under the radar. This is sometimes a really good indicator that a trader wants to get into a position as fast as possible because they might know something that could affect the underlying stock's share price the very next day or in the near future. I have even seen this happen the same day where they buy a contract. Like I've seen sometimes on a Friday where a sweeper comes in and it expires the same day. And I'm thinking, what's going on here? Next thing you know, the stock just breaks out and it's because they must have known something. And usually it's because there was news or something was mentioned. And this is a really great tool to notice. So definitely sweepers, pay attention to what the sweepers are doing. And it doesn't matter if it's a call or a put, pay attention to everything that's coming up. And you'll find all sorts of really nice little treats here. So now we're going to go into the next filter. Okay, now we're selected out of the money filters. And these are orders that have a far out of the money purchase price. So let's look at Microsoft. We're looking at a strike of 172.50. We have GE. We have Tesla 800. We have GE. Now GE is 1150. So That's not really that far out. That is already in the money. We have AMD at 46, Apple 320. Now this one's far out because, you know, Apple, we know where it's trading right now, and it's not near this 320. Can it get there? Look at this. Look at the expiry date. It's actually this week, and $26,000 of premium. And they picked this up for $93 a contract. Again, this is a sweeper, and he sweeped up 289 contracts. So pay attention to the ones that are out of the money. Sometimes there's some really good price points in them, and sometimes you won't be surprised. Like Tesla, again, another example, super far out of the money. And of course, people were very much banking on those today. So keep a watch on these ones out of the money as well. Okay, so now we're going to look at the IV less than 50%, and then we're going to go through the ones greater than 10%. But right now we're looking at the ones less than 50%. So again, these are orders that have implied volatility at either 50% and below. So you can have a look at these. This is a great feature. A lot of people really like to pay attention to the IV. And so this can help you at analyzing that a little bit more granular. Then we could look at maybe IV greater than 10%. So let's have a look at those. And I want to clear this one, the one that's greater than 50. Let's clear that. Okay, so we have our list here of the IV greater than 10%. And you can see here it lists all the different tickers, a lot of ETFs as well. And you can sort them again by the ticker, the expiry date, the strike, the size. Maybe size matters, you know, and you want to sort out by the size. So you could definitely do that. Maybe you want to sort by the type, maybe by the open interest. I just love all these filters. Okay, so next we're going to do 500 contracts and above. And I love these last two, 500 contracts and above and 1,000 and above. So let's look at the ones with 500 contracts and above. And these are orders that have 500 or more contracts. So again, you know, size does matter sometimes. So take a look at this filter. So we can see the size. Look at these. These look really nice. And, you know, you may look at the size, but look at the premium. Like this is a nice one. AMD, $46 strike. You know, 155 a contract. But look, 3,435 contracts. Look at the open interest. Look at the volume. This is a very interesting one. Now, one thing I didn't show you here today, because I did show this on the first video, but if you see these three little dots, if you click it, I could actually go to the chart. So I could pull up the chart right inside this actual dashboard. Now, it does automatically default to the ticker. So I love this feature. And right away, you can see the AMD chart. And you can decide for yourself based on the chart. Oh, okay, this is looking really good. And you could make a decision if you are wanting to take the trade, and you could look at the chart and make that call. Or, you know, no pun intended, but you could make the call or the put. But you could very easily right here from this dashboard. Another thing too that you could do if I want to actually go look at the order details. You know, I could pull it up here. I could see the strike. I could see the spot, the price, the bid, the ask, what happened here, and the volume. So everything's here if I want to see a little bit more information. So let's go back to the last filter. So I want to actually look at the ones that have 1,000 and above. Let me just clear this up. Great. So we have our list here of 1,000 contracts and above. And these again are orders that have 1,000 or more contracts. And again, we have SPY, QQQ. Let's see what else. Oh, look at Pfizer. We have Pfizer, $37 strike, 1,000 contracts. Nice premium of 100,001. And it's a split order. So that is interesting. So we will have to see what is going to be happening with Pfizer. So that could be one that you want to look at. Now, the thing is, Remember that options money flow is just really to be used as a strategic tool in your trading arsenal. You obviously have to have some experience with what you want to watch. You know, you have to look at the order flow. And obviously sometimes when are trying a new trading platform like Cheddar Flow, sometimes there's nothing wrong with just sitting back and just watch what's happening. Get yourself familiar with the platform. Get yourself familiar with the fundamentals. And, you know, sometimes you have to watch too, you know, sometimes with earnings season, money flow sometimes can sometimes not work for you. So remember, stocks can be very unpredictable at that time. And sometimes any logic that we try to derive from the money flow sometimes could be, you know, manipulated, because you may think, oh my gosh, they're super bullish on the stock, I'm going to follow that option trade. Next thing you know, that could have been a hedge. You know, maybe they knew earnings wasn't going to be very good, or the trader might have thought, oh, for sure it's not going to do well. And they bought a whole, you know, they bought a whole bunch of, you know, puts. So they bought a whole bunch of calls to hedge on maybe what they had from before. So again, I'm not a huge firm believer on option trades for earnings, but again, it's your money. You do what you want. So one last thing. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's session on Cheddar Flow. I've gone through so many filters with you, and you know what? This is an amazing enhancement with Cheddar Flow. You can follow them here on Twitter at Cheddar Flow. They'd love to see you try their trial. And again, any questions, you're welcome to reach out to me as well. I have a profile here on Twitter at I Love Stocks 1, which is at LUV Stocks 1. You're welcome to message me anytime with any questions you have about Cheddar Flow. Happy to help you all. Hope you find this video informative. Please like, subscribe, and comment below. Hope to see you soon. Take care and have a great evening.